So, hi, my name is Sam, owner of Professional Fleet Services, and today we're going to show you how to replace a lower control arm bushing in this Aztec we got behind us here. This will apply to pretty much all GM vehicles as well as many other makes and models. They're pretty much all done the same way. We're going to do it the faster way, leave the arm on the vehicle. You can also remove the complete arm and do it on the ground or on the bench. So with that, here's how you do it. Okay, so. All right, here you can see the ripped out control arm bushing. This one's completely torn all the way around. There's the rest of the arm as it mounts behind the brake rotor. A little farther away shot there. And normally you can remove, if you want to take the whole arm off, you can drop the lower ball joint, take that off. And then there's the rearward bolt at the very back. That bolt comes out. And then you got your through bolt for the main bushing that rips out on these. And that's also goes all the way through as well. And from there, you basically unbolt that one, slide the arm out, press the old one out, press the new one in, and you're done. And that's where we're gonna start. All right, so here's a list of tools we got. And doing it this way is about a 15-minute job from start to finish with these tools. You got your 3/8 impact, got a Torx 55, a T55 Torx bit, the 19 mil socket, which is for taking the wheel off. You've got a 21 millimeter wrench, and then to drive it in and out, we have an air hammer bit, which puts it back together, and then we have our air hammer with the other flat style bit for driving it out. You're also going to need a couple just variable sockets, thicker sockets, which we're going to wedge between the control arm and the frame, so this can be done on the car. And then obviously you're going to need a couple of long pry bars. There's a medium length one, and there's our big baby. That's about a 6-foot one. That's for getting good leverage if we need to for prying down. So there is your tools needed for the job. So basically how this is going to work is, there is the bushing. We're going to take that bolt out. We're going to use the 2 or 3 sockets to prop behind it to push the arm outward towards us. And then we're going to drive it out, and then drive it back in, remove the sockets, pry it back into place, put it together, done. And this takes all of about 15 minutes to do. So we're going to get started.
Watch, nothing's going to come apart the way it's supposed to.
Bushing's gonna pop out on its own.
That's fine. Okay.
And there we're using the larger pry bar so we can get enough leverage in there. And then we're wedging the sockets behind the arm. There's one in there, and then we'll use a longer one to get it positioned a little farther out past the bracket where it bolts through. So we've almost got it to the point it's out. And you just gotta find a good spot to pry on, which can be fun sometimes. And you can see we're moving the socket closer and closer so that we can get that bushing propped out. And it pretty much popped out. And it looks like it's pretty free from the bracket. So there's old rubber part of the bushing. Now we have to drive out the metal sleeve that the bushing's molded to. This gets loud and noisy. Basically what you can do is, yep, and there's that. There's a lip on it. You got to basically bend the lip, push the lip in with the hammer bit, and then drive it up and out. And that's kind of what it looks like removed. There's your new bushing, all molded, looking beautiful like it's supposed to. drop it through the top. Take your flat air hammer bit and you're going to carefully drive it down, around. You want to do that evenly. That way you don't get it lodged or stuck on one side or the other. So you'll kind of evenly go around a little bit at a time, work it down. You can also use a ball joint style press to do this as well. So if you don't have the experience or are nervous of doing this, you can use a ball joint press at this point. Okay, as a side note, there's slots in the bushing. It's pretty important to put the slots facing the direction you see them in now. Basically, the slots are facing towards the outside of the wheel and the other one's facing towards the inside of the engine area. If you keep it in this position, it'll give you some movement, some play to work the bushing in, and you'll see what we mean here in a minute.
Looks like we're showing the ball joint press method.
Yep, guess we're getting out the ball joint press. This one does not want to bite and go in like they usually do, of course. So we'll use the ball joint press to do it that way, which adds a few more minutes to the job. But typically you can use the air hammer, but you're going to learn how to do both methods today. And then this is a Snap-on heavy-duty ball joint press tool. A very good, high-quality one. They don't flex much, and they have a lot better ability at driving on and pressing very stubborn parts like we see every day. The cheaper ones do work. I've used them for years, but this thing is so much better when it comes to this job. So you'll find the cups that you need. Basically, a cup goes on the bottom, and then the top is a hardened steel cup, but it's kind of like flat, so it locks on around the edge of the bushing, and then the cup grabs the bottom of the arm, and as you tighten her down, the cup goes up and then pulls the bushing down. And this is really probably the best way to do it. It works out every time this way.
Except for we're gonna use a combination of methods here, because this one ain't gonna cooperate the way we want it to. This will conclude our how not to do this job. And I can't go outside like that.
Yep.
Because it's in the way.
Yep. Alright, so we got her pretty much all the way in. Now we'll use the air hammer to final drive it down in the rest of it. And the bushing is in. Now all we do is pry it back out, pull the socket out, and she pretty much slides back into place. Just gotta line her up, slide your bolt through.
Ouch.
Usually requires a hammer to kind of drive it through the rest of the way.
Really, two tools I forgot that I use.
Yeah, there's always more tools.
Large pair of channel locks works well for this part of the job. Like, except for And we're going to use a pry bar for it.
Yeah, stick a pry bar. We pry against the arm now to push the arm back into position, and then pound, tap your bolt back up through. Throw the nut on. Hold one side with the wrench, the other side with the ratchet or air gun, and you zip it back together. And
done.
All is done. And that literally took, like I said, around 15 to 20 minutes. If it would have cooperated with the air gun earlier, it would have probably knocked about 5 minutes off the job. So there you have it. That's how you replace lower control arm bushings on just about all GM front wheel drive vehicles, as well as most other vehicles on the road today. Pretty simple. Thank you very much.